me a second. I forgot to put up my multi-chat here. So obviously, I gotta give a shout out to some people right now who are in the chat. We got Proctophile, we got John, and we got Dexter's number one fan. Well, if you are Dexter's number one fan, then that leads me to today's topic. Well, do you want me to release him or not? Yes or no? Donate your answer. Yeah, I see you there. Hold on, give me 1 second. Copy. Then, yep, and here we go. And paste. There it is. All right. The thing is, we have a donation poll. Should I release Dexter or not? He gave me some bad beef jerky, and I'm a little upset about it. So I have to commandeer Smash JT's dog. With that being said, so donate and put yes or no in your answer, or else I'm just gonna have to keep the dog in the basement. But we are going. Oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Hold on 1 second. Boom, boom, boom. Because I'm fucking awesome. That's why. Where's my camera? There we are. Sorry about that. Is that the same on the right? No, not the same on the right. Cool. All right. So we're gonna get into it though. But if you donate, and if you say yes, the dono poll will go to Dexter being freed from my clutches. If you say no, then I get to keep him. But we're going to be going right into it today. Breaking news. So this is about 2 days ago. Breaking news, censorship news, Subscribestar, also known as kind of like the equivalent of Patreon, has now bent the knee and has now started restricting fictional content on their site like Patreon did years ago. The reason this happened in 2018 was because of payment processors putting the pressure on them. Could be the same reason. So he puts this post, breaking news. So compliance and platform rights. Subscribestar operates and in compliance with legal regulations, payment processors, right? So, and acquiring banks. So these two, payment processors and acquiring banks, these two people, mainly this, but these two entities are the ones that are really trying to censor speech and fictional content, which is not against the law here in the United States. As a result, some restrictions on this on this page may be stricter than general legal standards. Very interesting. Very interesting. If, and this is kind of a little box here, if a creator's content does not align with this policy, Subscribestar reserves the right to remove or essentially, you know what this is. You know what this is. This is, hey, we still want to get paid. You still want to get paid. Remove it now or everyone loses, right? Well, what if I said there's been an update to this story where Subscribestar went, wait, fuck that. And Cheaper Reviews also says Visa has told Subscribestar to censor fictional content or die as a website. Thousands of game developers and artists are threatened with this losing their money overnight because of this decision. Please share video to make more people aware. But like I said, Subscribestar, they got a little creative. Breaking news from Cheaper Reviews again. Subscribestar has managed to not bend the knee in a way to find a loophole around Visa and Mastercard, which is something that I think that Steam should definitely fucking do. You want to pay a certain way? Give more options so that these processors, these payment processors, can't do this to you. As a creator, as a video game maker, you know, whether you're the salt and sticks and candlestick maker, like that should not matter. They're being forced to censor their platform But it seems that they have added ways to not censor everyone with wallet payments. Very clever. So, G Reviews has this screenshot here introducing wallet payments on Subscribestar. In addition to the current payment system, we're launching a new wallet system designed to improve how creators receive support and how payments work across the platform. Improved global and regional reach. We're expanding payment coverage across more regions, reducing friction for international supporters and improving conversation rates. And we'll go a little bit into here. So, expand payment coverage. The wallet enables support from users who cannot or prefer not to use cards. So, essentially, hold on, we'll finish the statement here. Including those facing card declines. This increases the pool for paying supporters. So essentially, what they have done is went, okay, payment processors, don't you have all these other places that are kind of the middlemen that you go through? All right, well, we're going to include them in the payment processing. Or do you want to demolish all of your, customer base? You want to, get in the way of these businesses that take payments from you? Wait, well, hold on. How many are there? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You want to bully 15 different places that go through you? So it's just not us? I don't know. If you do that, that kind of means that you're holding a little bit of a monopoly on content here, isn't it? Wouldn't that be a horrible thing? Because not only would you be canceling artists and content creators, but this is a little different, isn't it? Isn't it? Because these are companies that are not content creators. And many other companies use these sites in order to get payment for certain services, art, and content. So what the fuck are you gonna do, Visa? What the fuck are you gonna do, Mastercard? Well, okay, well, John makes a good point. Apple and Google might bend the knee. Apple and Google, they might bend the knee. Well, I don't think that matters. What matters is that a platform is fighting back. And remember, we need to look at what the next day's headlines are. What are the next day's headlines for Steam or for Subscribestar or for Patreon, so on and so forth? Now, if they were going with Visa or Mastercard or both or other payment platforms, then that's, the headline is canceling, Subscribestar, Patreon, all these other things, right? But the thing is, that's very linear. That's one-to-one. When it comes to these payment processors that we have over here, Pix, SEPA, Alipay, are you telling me that Visa and Mastercard would love the publicity of, oh, we don't want to be responsible for 15 companies losing their employees? And I think this is going to be a really good middle ground because Visa and Mastercard and, a few of the other small ones are able to say, well, it's not us. It's the middle people. So they are in a position now that they can't cancel these individuals, these companies, for being middlemen for their own fucking company. And it wouldn't surprise me if they reached out to these companies. This is just speculation. It would not surprise me if they themselves reached out to these companies and said, hey, if you support these and be the middleman, that would be awesome. I don't think that is the case, or else Steam would have adopted this a lot sooner. That is my speculation, and that's all I'm gonna go for. But the thing is, it's a very what my point is that it's a very different conversation saying, "Oh, look at all these platforms that host fictional content and, art and all this other jazz," right? Than saying, "Oh, the people that have made, uh, paying for stuff easier, we're canceling, and, those are a few hundred jobs lost right there. Sorry." Because people don't care about gaming companies. They don't care about content creation at all. They just care about headlines. And that's what they'll always care about at the end of the day. Is the headline towards this, is the headlines towards that, and then they're going to respond. That's exactly what's going on here. And John also coming in saying Visa Mastercard most likely hired lawyers to close all the loopholes. Well, it doesn't fucking sound like it right now, doesn't it? Because lawyers only know what they know. They write what they only know, and they should know that unexpected places and things and ways to actually pay for things exist. Remember, lawyers, if they work for Visa or Mastercard, they're thinking in certain different ways. And Subscribestar has done something incredibly different. They went, "Oh, wait a minute. What if we put Visa and Mastercard in the hot seat? Do you want to pay more lawyers to cancel every single one of these companies?" I mean, technically they could, but is that a good headline? I don't think it's not. But here is the point at the end of the day. We can fight back. And if Subscribestar can do this, that means Patreon can do this. Look, we don't have to worry about locals. They're affiliated with Rumble. They're all about free speech and making sure as long as you don't break the law, then you're good to go. But then you have these other people that are these other companies that are not affiliated with these networks. And with this advertising saying, "Hey, you can fight back against Visa and Mastercard." And if every platform adopts this, what's Visa and Mastercard going to do? What are they going to do? Been like, "Well, then we're just not going to support you." Ah, but they focus on the headlines. Even the lawyers do. You think lawyers don't think about perception? Of course they do. And if Visa Mastercard is saying right now, "Oh, well, we're going to shut down these places that process our stuff, but they're not making the anime or the controversial content, but we're just we don't have oh, we don't have a good reason." Oh no. Like that's what's going to happen. Cuz guess what? Cuz you guys didn't even pay attention. What are one of those? Amazon Pay and Bitcoin and Google Pay or GPay if you want to hit that G spot. And Apple Pay. Do you think that Visa and Mastercard wants to go get Apple Pay, Amazon Pay, Google Pay, Bitcoin, and the other ones I don't really know or give a fuck about. But I do know that Alipay definitely goes through Alibaba. Do you think that Visa and Mastercard wants those headlines? No, they don't. Now, we still need future stuff to happen. We need to see how they respond to this. And if they do nothing, we win. If Visa and Mastercard does nothing, everyone wins. Then that tells Steam, that tells Patreon, that tells all these other platforms, like, you do not own us. You are a processor. That's all you do. It's pass the butter. That's all it is. It is pass the butter. That is what your job is, Visa and MasterCard. It's pass the butter. That's all you do. You do not make laws. All right? As long as a certain country is following the laws, all you do, pass the butter. That's all you do. You are a payment processor. That is all you do. Go fuck yourself and the bitch that you left with. She looks really ugly. We also Chibi Reviews is kind of the fucking man right now. He's reporting on this like a mofo, and I fucking love it. It's good to see. And he says, we won against Censorship today. Subscribestar has told payment processors to fuck off and decided to add more forms of payments to go around them. This means lolly, furry, and other forms of icky fiction will be allowed to be censored. What? Wait, what? Forms of icky fiction will allow to be. I think he meant won't be allowed to be censored, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
So let me get this straight. Subscribestar just told payment processors to piss off and that they will not buckle and bend and bow down to censorship, and they will find alternative means to fight back against him and allow people to continue to create art and games completely uncensored on their platform. Can I get a based in the comments? Like, straight up, this is absolutely incredible news. Like,
based. I think incredibly based. Sorry that I didn't have the audio on for this source. My bad.
We won. Like, this is actually a victory. This is great news. There is no other way to really look at it besides this is honestly not just great news. This is fantastic news. This is a victory against payment processors, showcasing that there is still a backbone to some of these sites, these companies that will not bow down to the tyranny of this legal mafia that is payment processors like Visa and Mastercard, and allow fictional content to be completely censored.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the amount of advertising, free advertising that Subscribestar just got? Like, there's going to be people that have had issues with Patreon for probably years. I already know that there are people that have switched to Locals or Subscribestar because Patreon has just decided, we're getting a little pressured here, so, bye. Because they have too much money. Patreon definitely has a stranglehold on the entire subscription. But the thing is, at the time when people signed up with them, they were niche. Subscribestar came later. Locals came later. Rumble came later. YouTube memberships came later, right? So right now, the thing that we need to understand is that Patreon has competition. And I love what Patreon does. I am not completely against them, but I think that they have bent the knee too many times. But what I'm really proud of is Subscribestar saying, no, we're making a stand. Patreon, I know we're competitors, but you do not have to bend the knee. So if Subscribestar does not follow, if Patreon does not follow Subscribestar, then Patreon becomes the problem. That's it. Am I wrong? If Patreon does not do the same thing as what Subscribestar is doing, then Patreon becomes the problem. They're the equivalent of the access media. Like, no, we just want to... We want to be good. We want to be, we just want to be good to the, to our overlords. It's all right. Bow down. No. This shit needs to stop. And a point needs to be made. That's all I'm saying, but let's see what Chibi has to say.
This is such a good announcement that I want to be talking about
today. It is a W!
But before I get into this good news, we do need to talk about why this is so significant and why it was really dire for the last 2 weeks until this news came out earlier this morning. So 2 weeks ago, there was a post that my dystopian robot girlfriend stated and broke the news of...
Oh, that's her name. I thought he was saying he had a new girlfriend. I'm like, dude, I think you broke up with your girlfriend for good reason a few weeks ago. It was a little dicey. You had me worried there. Again, I have not seen this entirety of this video, so I am reacting to it in real time.
Subscribe Star changing their policies to be more in line with payment processors. Pretty much, it was the same thing we've seen time and time again that's happened on Japanese sites, what's happened to Steam, what happened to itch.io, payment processors like Visa and Mastercard coming in and forcing these sites to basically change how they operate, or if they don't, they will pull out and these sites will no longer be able to generate and make money anymore, basically killing the company, threatening them that if they do not follow their demands, they will die. And obviously, when you see a platform like Steam, for instance, bowing down to like, yes, master, I bow down to you payment processes, yes, master, you know for a fact it's pretty bad. They hold a lot of power. They have like a monopoly over just the transfer of money. Like Visa, for instance, has a monopoly over cards and money transfer in the world. So when you factor that in, they have so much power that they can pretty much make almost any company do what they want and censor anything that they want.
So, right now, like, this is like a Google and Apple situation. They compete, but most people just choose their side. It is a duopoly, not a monopoly, right? I mean, there are other browsers. There are things you can go. But the thing is, they're not advertised. You have to look for Brave. You have to look for Opera GX. You have to look for Opera. You have to look for any other browsers, right? You have to look for other apps. When it comes to Apple, they're pretty strict on the, what's allowed their platform, but Google, they're definitely more so open-minded in regards to APKs and all that. They tried to take that away recently, but they reversed that real quickly in the last few weeks. But the thing is, what you guys need to understand is that a duopoly is still a monopoly. Do you guys understand that? A duopoly is still a monopoly. Oh, I got 2 choices? So I have a turd sandwich and a douchebag? Oh, great. I love having 2 choices. Now, the only exception I will say is in regards to government, it's, you got Republican, Democrat. I'm going to remove that because that's public and not business. Private versus public, right? And I'm saying outside of the stock market here, okay? There needs to be more devices. There needs to be more niche. And I know that we have them. There's the No phone. There's Nokia still exists. There's still burner phones. There's other networks that attach to these. But the thing is, we need more competition. And this is a great way to combat it and encourage more competition. Like if we go back here, if more websites and more platforms start using these, how much more do you think the economy is going to grow? This is diversity of payment, of economics. And not only that, a majority of these websites probably use like 1, 2, or 3 of these in order to be competitive. Like, hey, you could go through Visa, Mastercard, but you can also use these, right? That means when you give those options, then you give the customer more options. Then they get familiar with more websites. Like, let's just say other websites even promote these and say like, hey, here's the benefit if you go with Alipay. Here's the benefit if you go with Apple Pay. Here's the benefit if you go with Scala Pay. Because they have an incentive to promote these and not Bitcoin, Amazon Pay, Apple Pay, and GPay. They have an incentive, even if they get less of a cut, because they might get more revenue. That's how that works. This is why competition is such a good thing. Let's continue on.
So that gets into Subscribe Star. When this announcement was made, it pretty much spelled the beginning of the end, because this is exactly what has not just happened to, let's say, content within Japan, or Steam, or itch, or whatever, but this happened to Patreon back in 2017 and 2018, and a lot of people that are creators or developers for games or artists are probably already aware of this story, but for those that are not creators or use Patreon, let me explain. So basically, back in 2017 and 2018, payment processors went heavily after Patreon. Basically saying, Patreon, you gotta start.
Oh yeah, it was a bad deal. It was an incredibly bad deal. There is a reason why Smosh does not use Patreon, if I'm not mistaken. So when Smosh, so Ian and Anthony got back together, there's a reason that they stayed with YouTube memberships even though they were getting less of a cut. Now, one of those reasons is because it's in one platform. They are known for being YouTubers. So keeping everything on one platform is just a good idea. You get more revenue, you get more profit just in general rather than trying to separate it. They might have a Patreon, but when they made their announcement, they were saying, hey, we're just going to stick with YouTube memberships, even though it's less of a cut because Patreon gives you more by so YouTube is, they take a 30% cut, and I think Patreon only takes like 5 to 7, something like that. So even though it's more of a cut, you know where more of your audience is. So, and the things that something that you guys might not consider, because I am a content creator, right? Like I promote my Kick, I promote, my Rumble, right? Like you can be on any platform you want. That's majority of it is, hey, whatever platform you want to be on it. Like it doesn't matter to me. But your experience is yours, right? But when you're as big as Smosh, you do have to consider the financial repercussions. They are a big company. They are a legacy YouTube channel. So when they make those decisions, it's not on accident, right? So there's a reason why people choose their platforms. That's something that you need to understand that. But Patreon, slowly but surely, are losing their legitimacy. The only reason that I think that Patreon has not died right now is because of the pandemic. It's kind of weird, right? Where the payment processors did not give a shit between 2020 and 2022. Isn't that a little convenient?
Censoring your stuff. And pretty much it started just like this. Basically, taboo themes or icky content like furry content, lolly content, hypnosis content, you get the point. Anything that might be too extreme, so to speak, instantly got censored on Patreon's site. And then eventually it became a domino effect to where now on the side of Patreon, they're so overzealous and so worried about, anything that might be a problem for payment processors that they will just straight up ban you or censor you at a given notice if they just don't like your content.
Now, here is a big difference, and I think he's going to get there. I think he's going to get there. But isn't there a big difference? So there are people that are members on my Patreon here in this chat, right? I don't release a lot of membership stuff, but I do keep my I do the Smash JT model where when I do my live streams, I put them on memberships. You know, because you know what? If you're a member and you couldn't make it for the day and you just want to research or go through the entire content, that's fine. If I'm going to put that on my second channel and be like, hey, here's my live clips, they can do that as well. Those are free. But if they want to see the entire content and some of the interactions I have with chat, that'd be amazing for them, right? Like you need to support a benefit. But the difference is that paying members get something. They're paying for something specific. It's almost like YouTube is outside of YouTube in regards to the memberships here, right? It's not included in the algorithm. Well, it kind of is in a different way, but we're not going to get into that. But the difference is that if I say naughty words, let's just say, they get to see me saying the naughty words, but they are paying for that. On Patreon, it should be the same thing. If I say naughty words, you're paying for the naughty words. You're paying for the uncensored version. So why is Visa and Mastercard getting in the way of me saying naughty words? If I go to, Adult Hub, let's just say Adult Hub, I don't see any restrictions there. I don't see any restrictions on OF. I don't see any restrictions on Fansly. So why on Patreon? Why on Steam? Why on all these other platforms that are a little bit more niche? Because they can. Because they can bully them into submission. Because they get pressured by people like, something crowd, that Australian feminist group that are almost the opposite of feminists. it's really ridiculous, guys. It's really overshout, like overcrowd, like I forget. There's so much fucking news I can't even pay attention to. I get confused. I mean,
And so this has caused a lot of artists and developers on Patreon either A, to not use the site anymore, or they lock all their stuff behind a Discord. And this is why you've seen a rise of Discord, and these Patreon artists or whatever have Discord because of this type of situation.
Well, yes and no. I think once Discord really, as they become a public entity, I think that they are, and with the lawsuits that are in there, I think people are going to be leaving Discord. I think it's going to be a 10-year visit, not visit, but a 10-year exit. And with that exit is going to be consequences, because with every single creator that leaves Discord, you have maybe there's like 10 people in a Discord, but there are communities where there are hundreds, if not thousands of people. And let's just say even 20% of them follow them to a new platform. That's going to hurt Discord because of their new age policies, let's just say. And that's a whole different discussion, but we're going to stick on to what we're talking about here.
To get around Patreon's crazy censorship and what they've been doing thanks to what payment processors forced them to do. And so what I'm trying to say here is that it starts with the problematic content that they deem that's a brand risk, and then it shifts down to vanilla content that is not even problematic, nothing wrong with it whatsoever, like it's completely fine, safe, not even NSFW, but it is straight up removed as well. And so that is an issue. Basically, this is like, oh, so we're going down the route of Patreon. So, for the last 2 weeks, basically creators, developers, and artists were fearing for their livelihoods, because there is hundreds of thousands of people that use the site to be able to make a living, make games and art and stuff for their fans and communities. So the fact that this happened, obviously, was pretty worrisome. So we fast forward to earlier this morning, and this announcement that came out by Subscribestar, and they announce wallet payments, basically saying, fuck you, payment processors.
By the way, so the reason that I mentioned this beforehand is because all Visa and Mastercard and other ones use all of these different wallets. What's really interesting is I don't see CashApp or Venmo here, which is kind of interesting. Unless the symbol means Venmo. I don't know. I don't use Venmo. So
we are going to have alternative means for people to be able to pay the creators for our site to continue to operate.
Hold on. Are you guys still here? Okay, apparently you guys are still here. I was like, you guys have been silent for a little while.
They introduced a bunch of different stuff, as you can see here, and on top of that, they also introduced like stuff like this. You can pause the video, read it for yourself, but one of the biggest things here that I saw when I was reading their announcement was this right here. Basically, what payment methods are available for wallet top-up. You can top up your wallet using payment methods through selected payment providers that are offered in your region, including credit card and debit cards, PayPal and e-wallets, local payment methods where available, bank transfers if supported, cryptocurrency, prepaid voucher codes, and available.
I think Steam is going to be doing that. Steam, as silent as they are, you say Gabe does nothing and still wins. This is close to nothing. Like, oh, okay. So we'll just add other payment methods. You don't understand how powerful Visa and Mastercard are. They are incredibly powerful. But if they include wallets, and the thing is, there is such a thing as a Steam wallet, as you well know. But if you can do a separate wallet within a wallet, you basically just solve all your problems. You basically tell Visa, be like, oh, okay, let me explain it to you. All right, if I can actually find my wallet. This is my Ridge wallet. All right, I've had it for maybe 5 years. Maybe a little shorter or longer, roughly 5 years. So this is a wallet, and this is Visa Mastercard. And this is the product that you want. Now, before, it was Visa Mastercard and the product you want. The Visa Mastercard and the product you want. Like, you could just see the transfer of goods. But eventually, it went, oh no, we want to double penetrate here. We're going to double penetrate. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, you're not meeting this criteria. So, no, you need to fix your stuff in order for us to fit this hole, right? And we're like, and Steam was like, okay, we still want to get paid and all this other jazz because we use you. We want to, relationship. We want to build a good business. Okay. But then if Steam says, oh, here's a wallet, and there's several of them in this line, right? Then Visa Mastercard is like, hey, Steam, I want to tell you what I want to do. Like, nope, you can't. Sorry, we have a third-party platform that you have to go through, so you need to go through them. You can't tell us what to do anymore. You have to go through them. Like, oh, we're going to try to go through another. Oh, nope. Nope, you can't. I'm sorry, another third-party platform that you just can't get into. Sorry. Okay, what about this? Nope. And Steam is here saying, fuck you. That's what Subscribestar did. And if Steam does not start implementing this, then they are fucking retarded. That's what they are. Absolutely fucking retarded if they do not start doing this. Anyway, hope you liked the visuals. Double penetration with economics.
Payment methods may vary by region, but basically they have a full thing just discussing how they are trying to get around the Visa and MasterCard meddling of stopping creators from being paid and trying to censor creators. They are having workarounds for the entire situation. This is absolutely incredible. Like, I cannot believe how far this company went for its creators. I mean, the reason why I say that is because it's rare nowadays. Like, I want to point out that Steam, for instance, they bowed down. They kissed the very boot.
This is what I was saying. I think other platforms are going to learn from this. Wait a minute. This was an option? That's what I think this is going to lead to.
Of payment processors, and they pretty much threw creators under the bus. They did. And they didn't fight back at all, even really attempt to fight back. And this right here showcases that there is a spine, a backbone for some of these companies that will fight back. They don't give a fuck, and they will try to fight for the creators in the community that's on their platform. So I respect this. Straight up, super respect to this platform Subscribestar, because now artists can have different ways to be paid instead of having to worry about them potentially being banned or removed from the site or having to go somewhere else. Just a massive victory. Once again, can I get a based in the comments for this site? Like, straight up, Subscribestar, good job, man. You guys did good. I'm very happy to see good news around this entire situation. But I will leave it at that.
All right, so I put Chibi's video in the chat. I think you guys know where I'm at. And because I'm going to make this a video, unfortunately, I have to do this. If you watch to the end of the video, like and subscribe,